We're taking a look at Silicon Valley and jobs. The U.S. will face a shortage of over 1 million STEM workers by 2024. Engineers already making an average starting salary of $100,000 will have their pick of jobs. How will an increasing number of technology startups compete to attract employees? SingleSprout specializes in engineering, data, and design. It's cracked the code on recruiting engineers for technology startups, and we're talking right now with the co-founders. Joining us right now, SingleSprout co-founders Natan and David Saad. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, is that right? Tell us about the backdrop in terms of jobs in Silicon Valley and where the opportunities are.
Yeah, I mean, definitely first of all, there's a lot of demand for high-quality software engineers. It's extremely hard to find ones that are capable of doing their jobs, and there's ways. We specialize in tech recruitment startups, and there's ways to find good people for them that bigger companies can't really differentiate themselves with these small startups.
So Natan, talk about how is it that a small tech startup competes against the Googles, the Facebooks? I mean, you hear so much about these companies in the news. They're great workplaces, the flexibility, the pay. You know, you're a small tech startup against these guys. It almost seems impossible to get the best talent, right?
Yeah, I think when Google and Amazon and all these companies came out, it was amazing to have ping pong tables and snacks and kegs and all these great perks. But at the end of the day, what we're finding is that people want career growth, they want impact, they want challenge. They also want to have a company where they can go home and they can tell their friends, I'm actually changing the world. We work with a lot of health technology, education technology, a lot of mission-driven companies. And, this is something that millennials care about. But, in general, the tech workers of the world, the builders, they want to move the world forward.
But they do also want riches. And is that the kind of basic question? You can go work for Google, but Google's already public, and you don't have a large ownership stake in it. Is that how you differentiate? It's like because this goes back to the first .com bubble. You give the early employees a slice of the company, and that's what makes it attractive to them.
Yeah, certainly. Stock options can be very attractive, especially if a company goes public and they're in it when they're from the very beginning. That is very attractive to certain engineers. The main thing that we're seeing is we pull people out of the bigger companies, and they're working on larger projects. They want to go to a startup and make an impact and really stand out and grow with the company as it's going through their rounds of funding and larger customers.
So how are you doing that? What do startups need to know in terms of bringing in the next generation? You said they're no longer interested in all of these perks like ping pong tables. What are they interested in, and are you finding the skill sets that are required to thrive in today's new economy?
Yeah, we're 100% finding those skills. We're doing it through a lot of interesting proprietary technology. Our business massively changed, and we brought in a lot of engineers to help find those appropriate engineers to place them. We're finding that people want to work with sophisticated technical challenges, and they're able to do that from the very beginning at these startups. Whereas bigger companies, while they're very exciting, as Natan mentioned, they have awesome perks. They're not really working in the infrastructure or the early sauce of what these companies are doing.
What's the most important skill set that people need right now to get a job in Silicon Valley?
So you
need to know how to code?
Yes, so coding is very important. Open source technologies, especially within startups, go a long way. Years ago, you would have, in our role, something called front-end engineers, back-end engineers, full-stack engineers. Now you're seeing one person do many different jobs, thanks to a lot of the technology that's come out.
Learn to code in high school and skip college. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
No.
Is that what you think?
I'm a college professor. No.
Take coding in high school and then go try to start your own company.
Learn to code in high school and skip college. Save the money because you can't get a job.
Yeah, more and more kids are coding. Some of my family friends, their kids are picking up coding, and Angry Birds has a coding game that people are playing. And why not have kids, take part of that? We see that it is something that is so vital, and not just tech companies, but every company. I mean, we are a recruiting company. We have a fantastic engineer who sat down with us and said, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? How do you send emails? How do you store data? We're going to see this more and more, that every company is going to become a tech company.
Are they teaching coding in high school? Is that what you're saying?
A lot of it's self-taught, actually. Okay. The real entrepreneurs, because they start learning when they're 8.
And,
it's 5, 8, 10, 12, they start to learn how to code and engineer on their own with their friends. My brother did it.
And if you haven't learned yet, know that that's the skill set you need.
There's a number of boot camp programs, if you guys have heard of this, where people have professions in other industries and then they want to get into software engineering. It's 2 weeks to 2-month immersive courses, and then all of a sudden they can get a pretty good job.
All right, well, we're all about jobs this morning. We're trying to identify exactly what you need to do and what you need to thrive in this new economy. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
David Saad and Natan Fisher there. Stay with